You understand me? The first time Usyk beat him with a jab. It's very hard for you to make me believe, no matter what he went through, that he's gonna come back and beat Usyk if Usyk beat you with a jab. You understand me? And he went out, he tried, he gave it his best shot, but he didn't have no new tools. He didn't bring nothing new to the race. If you lose the race, you gotta bring something new. He didn't bring anything new. So how you expect to win? The guy with the best chance, to be honest with you, and people may disagree, but I know what I'm looking at. The guy with the best chance.
At the Pyramids of Giza, me defeating Oleksandr Usyk and making sports history. I'm gonna attack him from angles that he hasn't seen before because I move different. I'm not like your typical boxer.
He is the hardest I have ever met. You put Usyk, AJ, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? I think this is the problem, right? Is kickboxing has not had the limelight as what boxing has, right? So when you say someone's been the heavyweight champion of the world for 1 or 2 years, like, oh, he's got to be a hard. Rico has been the world kickboxing champion for 14 years in a row. He's never once been knocked out. He is humongous. He's over, I'm going to say 125, 130 kilo, 6'5", 6'6", just a huge human being. Hands like shovels, feet like Wreck-It Ralph.
I mean, I think Rico's getting wrote off.
Did you come across him?
Listen, I've been training with Rico for the last 10 years, so I'm obviously pretty Rico biased. Rico's a good friend of mine. But he's a big man. He's had a lot of fights. Fair enough, they're fighting a different sport.
The fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven, now known as Glory to Giza, has everyone's attention. And surprisingly, Roy Jones Jr. has called Rico the only fighter capable of beating Usyk.
What would it mean to you to win that fight against Usyk?
Yeah, it would mean the world to me because that would be the biggest upset
in the world.
Sports history.
Yes. Now let me ask you, how do you train for someone like Usyk?
For me, to be honest, like, I've been kickboxing world champion for 12 years. So I know how to be champion. So, and I know how to be the best version of me. So something that's not broken, you don't have to fix. Okay?
Of course.
But he's a champion within a different sport. So you have to make some adjustments. But I think basically the simplest thing is just work your ass off.
Of course.
Putting in so much work.
Rico Verhoeven is also confident that he will beat Oleksandr Usyk. He says he will attack Usyk from angles Usyk has never faced in his life. And while he comes from a kickboxing background, he still confidently believes he will outbox Usyk.
At the Pyramids of Giza, me defeating Oleksandr Usyk and making sports history. I'm gonna attack him from angles that he hasn't seen before because I move different. I'm not like your typical boxer.
A lot of fight fans, they're probably thinking your strongest way to victory is getting the finish, is getting the knockout.
In the beginning.
Are you putting healthy pressure on yourself thinking that is my path to victory, or do you think you have what it takes to outbox him over the distance?
Is it realistic to think like that I'm gonna come into a sport, so into a different sport, I'm coming into the sport of boxing, and I'm gonna facing the best boxer that potentially ever did it, and I'm gonna outbox him?
According to Rico, boxers have failed to defeat Usyk, but he will do it by throwing bomb combinations that will be diversely inspired by kickboxing, something unusual for Usyk. He ends with a brutal warning. What he will bring into the ring will surprise not only many others, but Usyk himself as well.
I think that's gonna be tough. I think that's gonna be a tough challenge.
So you're going from a completely different angle then?
Yeah, so like, I just need to throw some bombs. And like I said, see if we can hit him from a few different angles. No boxer has succeeded yet and was able to beat this man because they brought boxing to him. So I'm bringing something else to him. I'm bringing something unorthodox. I'm gonna attack him from angles that he hasn't seen before because I move different. I'm not like your typical boxer.
100%.
I have like certain box movements already in my kickboxing.
Max Kellerman switches to analyst mode, dissecting this epic fantasy clash. Will Usyk's boxing brilliance crack the code of Rico Verhoeven, the undefeated wrecking ball force from kickboxing?
You, man.
And he already has a professional fight.
I will come drop kick you. Stop this. We know how it's going to go. If they train or don't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yes, but yes,
Guaranteed.
if he trains or doesn't train, Usyk's going to win.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't train, maybe it could be interesting.
Okay.
Right?
But he will train.
Yeah.
But he will train. So
What, 270? Different.
my prediction for the fight, pain. Look, this will be spectacular. It's spectacle, right? Yeah. The backdrop will look like something out of a video game, right? Like sick. Street Fighter 2. But why Egypt? Why Egypt? Why is that the site for the fight?
Well,
neither guy is Egyptian.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a close relationship between Saudi Arabia and Egypt, and I think that plays into it, obviously.
Max Kellerman applauds Usyk's surgical precision, yet raises a red flag. The glaring size gap with Rico might actually benefit the kickboxer. He warns Usyk must prepare for a dazzling showing against a larger, heavier-handed champion, or risk devastating repercussions inside the ring.
Kickboxing is not UFC or wrestling. He's not doing different stances. It's not like he's an expert at wrestling. He's an expert at stand-up fighting.
Yeah, but when I say 52 hand blocks, I say that for a reason. He uses a kind of hand blocking style which will work, but not against a highly trained professional boxer.
Hey, Zab Jr. used it to pretty good effect in a lot of fights.
By the way, I've never seen Yoel do it, but I'll bet you Yoel got 52 hand blocks.
Zab for real.
Yeah.
But like he's gonna need he needs 104 hand blocks against Usyk. Forget about 52.
That makes sense now. Zab must have learned it from his father. He was a kickboxer.
Facts. But growing up though, you always be like, well, what's up then? You start doing this.
That's an imitation.
That's why I love Zab though, because Zab be like,
Yeah, but that is wild. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying, guys. There is a difference. There's a reason you don't see it on the highest level in professional boxing. If it worked at that level, it works on a level.
Rico firmly denies being broken. While acknowledging Usyk's world-class boxing credentials, he points to his own steep learning curve as the secret weapon for adopting to Usyk's approach. Convinced he'll stand victorious with raised fists when it's over, Rico is pushing himself through an unbelievably punishing training camp to make that vision real.
Yes.
That's what we do.
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
You versus Usyk.
Yes, sir.
Tell us.
At the pyramids.
At the pyramids.
First time ever.
At the pyramids.
At the pyramids.
At the pyramids.
Tell us
at
what
the
happened.
pyramids.
Tell us what happened.
In your own words, what happened?
What happened?
You and Usyk,
May
May 23rd.
23rd, history will be made.
Yes.
I will make history, and I will be the first, crossover fighter that's gonna make history as the WBC World Heavyweight Champion.
Teddy Atlas just dropped a jaw-dropping tactical dissection that might alter heavyweight destiny, issuing an unprecedented warning for Rico Verhoeven in the process.
Can you stop beating us up?
Usyk's call, how he wants to go about. He gets hit standing straight up. He's not easy to miss, to be honest. He's right in front of you. It's going to be up to him. What's his chances? I think slim and none, to be honest.
Teddy Atlas sees the Usyk-Verhoeven clash as wildly lopsided. Rico's physical edge means little, he argues, given his glaring deficiencies in boxing technique and defensive footwork. Atlas believes Usyk's pure craft and ring intelligence would simply overwhelm the kickboxer, leaving zero realistic routes for an upset.
He doesn't have that background. He stands straight up. He's had 76 fights. He's won 66. He's got 26 knockouts. He's not a huge puncher. You know, his best punch is the right hand. That can be effective against the southpaw. Usyk's a southpaw. That can be the southpaw killer. I get it. It's not going to be. Usyk's too versatile, too good for him. His defense, his offense. I think it's going to come down to where Usyk, it's up to him. If he wants to work with him and he wants to carry him, I don't know that anything that there was any agreement to that. I have no idea of that. But if it's going to be up to him, because what I've seen, like I just said, Verhoeven, he gets hit standing straight up.
Teddy Atlas dismisses the Usyk-Verhoeven matchup mostly as a money-driven sideshow built for hype, but he directs sharp criticism at the WBC for blessing it as an official title defense. He admits boxing has seen such oddities before, yet argues that allowing Usyk to put his belt on the line here feels deeply unjust to the sport's integrity and its legitimate ranking system.
You know, they put him off his fights, and they had obviously a real, a real danger to them as a fight, and they played out where guys got knocked out in some of those fights, but they weren't sanctioned for a title. I think what makes this a little bit different to me is that the WBA is sanctioning it as a title defense for Usyk. That makes it a little bit different. There's going to be some people who are going to say, well, that, it's not fair to some of the heavyweights out there, professional heavyweights that are not kickboxers, that are heavyweights, professional boxers, and they deserve a shot. But for a guy who's a kickboxer and who has had one professional boxing match, he's 1-0 against the guy that, who knows.
Pound-for-pound king Terence Crawford, meanwhile, firmly backs Usyk to prevail. In his view, Rico Verhoeven simply has no legitimate shot against the Ukrainian maestro. Regardless of opposing opinions, Crawford insists Usyk will emerge victorious. Reaffirming his unwavering loyalty to the heavyweight champion, Crawford states he has always been and will forever remain a devoted Usyk fan, clearly envisioning him as the one who defeats Rico.
He an Usyk fan, bro.
You're right.
That is your guy, though. Usyk's a good dude. He's a hell of a fighter.
Usyk gonna win.
The belt. But the first time before Usyk fought Tyson Fury, did you think Usyk could beat Tyson Fury? Truthfully, no.
I picked him both times.
No, the first time you picked him?
Both times.
But don't sleep on Rico Verhoeven, a decorated kickboxing icon with 76 fights and lethal knockout ability. He's no ordinary challenger, though his sole boxing win came 12 years ago. Usyk, by contrast, reigns as undisputed heavyweight king, Olympic gold medalist, and a master strategist. It's veteran grit versus world-class pedigree, David versus Goliath, yet Goliath glides like a welterweight.
I've seen Verhoeven, because once this fight got made, I checked him out a little bit. His hand game looks like 52 hand blocks, guys, which is, I don't know, 52 hand blocks. You're a slap box in the neighborhood, but that came out of the prisons, right? Like 52 hand blocks, close range fighting and stuff, and you see it in the street a lot. As Jizza said on Liquid Swords, therefore your 52 hand blocks is useless. That stuff ain't gonna work against the best heavyweight in the world. If he comes into the fight with the hand block stuff, Usyk is going to do what he pleases. But he is a 270-pound dude.
Still, Verhoeven can trade punches and hold his own. So can every heavyweight inside the transnational rankings where the kickboxer naturally doesn't appear. Usyk has cracked every riddle placed before him. An explosive but unproven boxer attempting a colossal jump? History suggests Usyk figures it out quickly and decisively, leaving little room for doubt.
Chris Algieri, kickboxer. Caleb Plant. Troy Dorsey, kickboxer. Remember Troy Dorsey and Kevin Kelly had an incredible fight. Yeah. There are lots of kickboxers who've made the transition. And look, I'm not trying to hype it up.
Yeah, yes, you are.
If Usyk takes this fight seriously, Verhoeven has no shot. I'm telling you, there's no way he's going to be. If he takes the fight seriously, but we have seen boxers like Floyd Mayweather and Tyson Fury not be prepared for the fight. This guy is 270 pounds.
He's not that guy, though.
And he already has a professional fight.
The world watches Usyk hone his weapons for kickboxing wrecking ball Rico Verhoeven. Pundits weigh in from all directions. Max Kellerman then delivers his dissection, providing a rare glimpse into how the iconic commentator truly evaluates this perilous, high-stakes crossover showdown.
On the other hand, and this is at the highest level, he is a long-reigning, dominant champion. You fought at the highest level in the heavyweight division, Chris. What are your thoughts about this?
First of all, you can't teach size. You can't teach 6'5", 270. You can't teach that, all right? Second of all, whether it's kickboxing or boxing, he still has a pedigree of fighting. He knows what it's like to get hit. And those kicks ain't no joke. I'd rather get punched than kicked. Right. So he must have a good chin or a good body work. So I'm looking forward just to see what Usyk could do against a a lesser opponent. You probably should end up within 2 to 3 rounds.
Rico's physical edge fuels endless debate. Yet, Usyk has already silenced doubters time and again. He took apart Daniel Dubois, then dismantled Tyson Fury twice. His pinpoint accuracy, unwavering composure, and obsessive drive to evolve make him a living nightmare for Verhoeven. Some analysts take it a step further. Don't bet on this fight reaching the 5th round.
Now, we saw Tyson Fury almost lose to Ngannou. That would have been embarrassing. He clearly didn't train for the fight, right? We saw Anthony Joshua go a bunch of rounds with Jake Paul. And, like, if it was Anthony Joshua fighting Verhoeven, I might say, let's see, it's Usyk, Mike. Yeah. It's Usyk. What do you think of the fight?
Yeah, and it was originally looking like it was going to be Joshua and Verhoeven. And that was before Joshua fought Jake Paul and decided he didn't want to do another training camp so soon after. This is even before, he had that tragic car accident. But, look, I think it's interesting, and I obviously, Max, as you like to say, we know who we work for, right? But this is a spectacle. And Usyk, like Chris said, if anybody deserves a fight where they don't have to fight the very best, it's Usyk. He's going to take a fun fight. This isn't a wrestler. He's fighting a guy that knows how to stand up. No one's suggesting that Usyk's going to lose this fight.
Don't ignore Rico Verhoeven's commitment to his own legacy. Last January, he turned down a UFC deal. Alistair Overeem applauded that choice, citing Alex Pereira's ascent as a reference point, and warning that MMA's wrestling-heavy approach might have exploited Rico's gaps. Overeem's verdict, remaining in kickboxing and boxing, lets Verhoeven leverage his advantages while safeguarding his long-term health and financial future.
Well, Rico has done very well in Glory. I think I actually also love the matchup. Rico has not really faced, he's faced some tests, but not really of this magnitude. I think also Rico knows the clock is ticking, right? Also getting a little bit older, and he wants to get those money fights in. I love it that he's taking the chance to do this. I also think that your legacy is cemented by these fights, and you don't even necessarily have to win as long as you put on a great performance. And I think that therefore I can applaud him.
Since exiting the UFC in 2021, Overeem has returned to Glory kickboxing while battling personal struggles, including a phone addiction he later opened up to Bloody Oboe. He was once slated to meet Verhoeven in a massive showdown, but pulled out due to injury. Nevertheless, Overeem fully backs Rico's decision, arguing that real legacy stems from embracing enormous challenges and producing unforgettable showings, even when winning is far from guaranteed.
Beautiful back. The Giza pyramids.
Yeah.
Right, and I get it. Of course, there's going to be boxing fans that going to be like a little bit crank on it. But again, you have a gentleman who wants to test himself. You have the absolute number one. Rico has the weight advantage and significant weight advantage, right? I think 15 kgs, maybe something like this, maybe even more, 17 kgs, 18 kgs. So I think anything can happen. Rico's going to come up with a game plan, right? Because this is his chance. Are you that good or are you not that good? Hey, let's go. So I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
From the mindset behind a punch to the art of ending a fight, who truly holds the edge when regulations fade away? This isn't imaginary matchmaking. It's the discussion consuming the entire combat sports world right now.
I think it's about 15 years now. And I've always done the boxing side with him. So obviously he is a kickboxer, and him and his trainer Dennis Crow-Yielded, it's a close-knit team, but I've always been a part of their team. So, but I've always worked on the boxing with his hands to implement and blend in with his kicks, because I don't know nothing about kickboxing. So obviously, I just worked on the hands and his boxing ability, but he's been around boxing. He's sparred with a lot of top boxers in the world.
The Glory to Giza spectacle set against Egypt's iconic pyramids has gripped the globe. On one corner waits boxing's undisputed heavyweight ruler. On the opposite side stands Rico Verhoeven, kickboxing's heavyweight monarch. And the sport's legendary figures, they simply cannot resist weighing in with their opinions at every turn.
I remember they wouldn't sanction me and Ngannou for the title. That wasn't a title fight. That was like a special, whatever, an exhibition type thing. So I'm not sure.
Has he got a chance?
Listen, he's a big man, isn't he? He's a big man.
Big right hand that
big
knocks
right
people
hand.
out.
Yeah, I've seen it. But I'm sure Usyk's faced plenty of right hand people who can knock people out, hasn't he? I.e. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. He's fought a lot of big men with a similar style to Rico. But he's a big man. He's got a chance. He's got power. Who knows what he can do in there? But Usyk's, what is he, 39 years old now? But the thing with him is he's only had 24 fights, so he doesn't have a lot of mileage on the clock. And he turned pro in late 2013, so I think he's going to be all right.
What makes Rico Verhoeven truly frightening? His exposure to all-time greats. MMA star Tom Aspinall stands firmly in his corner after grueling training sessions together. Tyson Fury has also traded punches with Rico since his early kickboxing days. The evidence points to one unavoidable truth: underestimating Verhoeven would be a grave mistake.
First of all, I think Rico's absolutely insane. Let me start by saying that. That is crazy. If I was him, I would be like, I'm not doing that, that's for the up-and-coming guys. But it just shows that the mindset that Rico's got is like, this guy still wants to prove that he's the best. Even after like years and years of being on top, the guy's still like, right, if it's going to take 3 fights in one night just to prove it, I'm going to do it. And you got to respect him for that, like, fair play.
Kickboxing icon Liam Harrison argues that Rico Verhoeven has earned his shot at Usyk, even if a straight boxing match clearly tilts towards the Ukrainian. Walking through each round, Harrison explains why this showdown remains logical despite obvious gaps in pedigree and technique. He concedes Usyk has the edge, but insists granting Rico this opportunity honors his kickboxing achievements and the spectacle's appeal.
Well, that'd be wild, wouldn't it? I think Rico's gonna have to boot him in leg or something though. If he wants to get any sort of advantage over him, no one can beat Usyk in a boxing fight. I don't care who you are. No one on this planet. He's the best heavyweight on this planet, and he's the best heavyweight of his era. If guys like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua can't put a dent in him, no one's going to be able to put a dent in him, I'm afraid. So yeah, Rico will have to throw a few leg kicks if he wants to get one over on him there. But again, Rico's a legend of kickboxing. Guys like that who have paved the way in kickboxing and have been the goats of their generation, they deserve to get these paydays and these sort of chances to showcase what they can do and just to promote themselves and to get some big money and stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice to see, to be fair.
A crucial element in Verhoeven's camp is working alongside UFC heavyweight Tom Aspinall. Collaborating with an elite MMA combatant brings a unique tactical edge, merging polished striking with high-level fight IQ. These assets may enable Rico to shrink distance, seal off the ring, and throw off Usyk's timing, offering him a real opportunity against a technically superior foe.
Dude, he's there to get punched. You've got a good base on top though. Yeah.
Switch real time, yeah? Real time.
Balance and shit.
Fun. I gotta be honest, it's so much fun. And maybe missed it a little bit. But it is what it is, you know? You gotta play around with it.
My name is Rico Verhoeven, and I'm a kickboxing champion. He was definitely also an elite stand-up fighter. But I think in the combination as an MMA fighter, complete MMA fighter, I think, in my opinion, Tom has the upper.
Aspinall's guidance adds an unpredictable dimension to the battle, raising both its intricacy and threat level. This transforms Rico into a tougher and stranger obstacle than audiences initially expected, one that may compel Usyk to navigate puzzles he has never encountered inside a traditional boxing ring.
He's like an anaconda, like...
There we take position.
Such a nasty feeling. When that arm, it's under your neck, and you start squeezing the living life out of me. It's not a nice feeling, but it is something I can get used to. So let's keep putting in the work.
No, I know what it is. What is it? It's from the...
It's a shame that it probably is still the same one, and you knocked it.
Oh, no, it's not.
You gave it an 8 count.
It's not.
For Rico Verhoeven, this showdown means far more than a typical bout. It's a prime chance to deliver an undeniable message. By accepting Usyk, he prioritizes legacy over money, rejecting lucrative MMA deals from Francis Ngannou to enter the square circle. That choice exposes a fighter intent on validating himself against a true legend. His willingness to accept such a frightening challenge reveals an unshakable hunger for combat sport's highest throne.
It was literally like those two offers were on the table, and I was like, with my hands in my hair, like, oh my God, what is going on? It's like it's an MMA event live on the first MMA event live on Netflix in Los Angeles, like, whoa, versus Francis Ngannou, let's go. And then fighting Oleksandr Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion for the last how many years, like, oh my God. And then I just thought, like, okay, let's go for legacy.
Rejecting a rich MMA clash with Francis Ngannou, Verhoeven laid his intentions bare. Choosing to face Oleksandr Usyk exposes a title holder fueled by legacy and resolve, valuing the bout's profound significance well beyond any immediate paycheck.
Let's just go for legacy, and I got the opportunity to fight for the WBC Heavyweight World Championship. I was like, let's go. That's a bucket list. That's a bucket list right there.
So here we stand. Glory to Giza isn't just a spectacle, it's a true collision of worlds. On one side, boxing's undisputed genius Oleksandr Usyk, a puzzle no heavyweight has solved. On the opposite side, kickboxing's undefeated destroyer Rico Verhoeven, backed by Tom Aspinall, trained with fury, and hungry for legacy over money. Usyk's ring IQ is otherworldly, but Rico's size, power, and unpredictable angles make this no walkover. One thing's certain, the pyramids will witness something unforgettable. Who you got, Usyk or Rico? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like and subscribe for more crossover closh coverage.